As mentioned at the top of the newscast, several other students of Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College were traveling in the minivan that collided into the ambulance and caused the death of Jorge Vargas. Today, the Dean of CEMJC gave us an update on the condition of 20-year-old Alia Marokin of Corozal Town, Armando Pat, and Anthony Zib.
I was at home already, and a teacher notified me that she was on the scene of the accident. That would be Miss Melissa Alfaro, my IT teacher. And when she notified me, I immediately got up and I drove to the scene of the accident.
And what did you see when you got there?
Well, when I got there, some of the students had already been transported to the Corozal Community Hospital. Then I saw the body of Jorge Vargas was still on the scene of the accident. I just received an update about an hour ago, and we're talking about 3 other students currently at the Corozal Community Hospital. We have Anthony Sib, who is from Pachacan Village. He's being treated there. One of the good signs is that the moment I walked into the room, he recognized me. And last night when I went to assist by giving information, parent information to the doctors and nurses at the hospital, he didn't recognize me. So that was a little bit of a concern for me. But I felt much better today when I walked into the ward and he called me by my name. And then we have, I was made to understand that Armando Pat was transported this morning from the Corozal Community Hospital and is now being treated at the Northern Regional Hospital. Yesterday, when I got to the hospital, he didn't recognize me, but he did ask me to stay by his side, and he asked me for a hug. And I was there until his father arrived, and then I moved to the other student. The other student is Alia Marokin, and I spoke to her. She was stable, but she had suffered multiple fractures, and she had an abrasion on her head. And her parents were there. They were one of the first parents to arrive at the hospital, and so they accompanied her on the ambulance to Belize City because she's currently at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital.
Would you say she's one of the more serious cases?
At this point, I am very concerned. Yes, she's one of the serious cases along with Armando Pat.
Another student involved in the traffic accident is Jaheim Williams. While he does not attend CEMGC, Dean Gonzalez alerted his counterparts so that Williams could have received urgent medical attention.
One of the things that when I got to the hospital, one of the doctors, who is a colleague of mine, Dr. Marcel Riverol, we went to school together. He took me to Jaheim Williams and asked me if I knew the student. And since I have access to our school system, which is online, I went in and I couldn't identify the student on the profile. And so I informed them immediately that the student does not come to Centro Escolar Mexico. And so the doctor went into, I think, a database that they manage at the hospital and found a number for the mother. So I immediately called and informed the mom. Then we found out that he was going to BAJC. The mother was contacting family members so that somebody can go to the hospital immediately, because the doctor informed that since he's a minor, he needed to undergo an emergency CT scan, and a parent or guardian had to approve it. So what I did was to call on the dean, who I knew at the time was the closest person. Fortunately, the dean was in town, and he got there within minutes. And so he went in and told the doctors that yes, that he would through his institution, they would respond for the CT scan, and so the people at the hospital had him prepped. He was already prepped, and so the ambulance took off with him and took him to Belize City. During my time there, I was asked to speak to him, and he at times became conscious and then lost consciousness, and did this several times. But I was made to understand late last night that he did regain consciousness, and I'm very grateful for that. And he has spoken to his mother, and so he's being treated at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital.
The driver of the minivan, Carmelo Cow, received injury to his left knee, cut to right chest, left side of his forehead, and a fractured right knee, while the driver of the ambulance, Luis Canelo, received a swollen right ankle and pain on his chest area. Nurse Victoria Mesh received a cut to the center of her forehead, cut to lower lip, and complaints of pain to her right shoulder. As for Nurse Misael Loria, she received abrasions to the left cheek, left side of head, and pain to left side of rib cage. What injuries were suffered by the minor patient and her mother are unknown at this time.